Welcome to The Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. It is 3:41 a.m., July 12th, 2021. And I'm tired, but I'm also wired. Does that make sense? Maybe I shouldn't have drank that last iced tea at 3:30. So I feel a little up right now. So I just had a little something on my mind. So I just figured I'd share it before I fall asleep for the next 4 hours and change before I get up again. So I often see that people give up on their dreams. They give up on things that they want to do, things that they want to accomplish, their dreams, goals, whatever you want to call it. And they have the potential to be so much further ahead than they are. But one of the reasons why I see why people give up on their dreams is because they take on other people's fears. And by this, I mean they allow people to talk fear into them or speak, fear over them. And then that makes them weary about accomplishing their goals. Sometimes even family can do it to you. Sometimes our parents are afraid of what it is that you're trying to do, in your life, in your relationships, in your business, whatever it is. And they often can speak fear, crippling fear, into things that you want to accomplish in your life. And I definitely have dealt with that to some degree in family relationships, personal relationships, where sometimes people just discourage you. Sometimes they don't even go out of their way to discourage you. Sometimes just the lack of support is discouraging enough. When you tell someone something that you've always wanted to do, whether it's play an instrument or whatever, you want to become a doctor or whatever that dream that you always wanted to do. And then some people speak negatively of, it's going to take you so long to go to medical school, or, let's say you want to become a lawyer. That's like 7 years, 8 years, don't you think that you should have started a little bit earlier? Why would you want to do that now, in your 30s and your 40s, Listen, I truly believe that what God has for you is for you. And I also believe that sometimes the vision is only given to you. So if you have a vision and you understand what your assignment in this life is, there is no reason why you should be fearful of stepping to the next level. There's no reason why you should be fearful to move ahead. There's no reason to feel guilty for also leaving behind those fears. And sometimes those fears lie in certain people. And everybody is not going to be with you for the entire ride. Some people are here for a time and then they got to go. And that's not to be rude. It's not to be nasty. It's not to be, we don't dispose of people. That's not what this is about. what I'm saying is that if people are not encouraging around you, and I actually just posted something on my social media, I think it was yesterday. I said, if you look at, your circle and people are not encouraging, they're not lifting you up, you're not lifting each other up. The whole iron sharpens iron concept, then you're not flourishing. You're caged in. You're not actually flying. You're not actually, flourishing in your life. So I am have been very particular about the people that I keep around me. I've been very particular, especially in the last decade or so. I've been very particular about the people that I keep around me. If I see that certain people are kind of falling back, for whatever reason, everybody has things going on in their life. I don't have any beef with anybody. I haven't even so much as had an argument with anyone in probably years. It's been many, many years. I'm not like a disagreeable type of person at all. But some people just have a lot going on in their life and they kind of fall back. I just kind of let them do that. You know what I mean? I always believe that if we're all meant to be cool and we're all meant to, be friends or colleagues or whatever the situation is, that we will always find a way to connect. True supporters, family, friends will always find a way to connect. And it's okay if you need time to yourself. Sometimes it's boundaries. Sometimes you have to stay away from craziness that's going on. Sometimes there's a lot of family that can be very toxic. Sometimes you just have to let people do their thing. You don't have to be in on all of the information all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in and on the scene all the time. And, people need their space. They need their space. Just respect that. You don't have to, constantly, well, what about this? And what about that? And, well, what about, all that spirit of fear, that spirit of, constant worry. That's just not where you want to be with yourself. And I understand that there's some people that may be dealing with, mental health issues, especially coming out of, losing jobs and dealing with this pandemic and maybe having lost loved ones to to COVID and, just everything that has taken over us mentally and physically, since this pandemic has began. It's very tough sometimes to navigate past those things. So I'm not necessarily talking to the people who deal with mental health issues, whether it's anxiety, depression, and, things like that. Those have to be specially treated, and that takes therapy and, psychologists, psychiatrists, and all of that. So I'm not necessarily speaking to that. I'm talking to, the everyday, folks, the everyday life that we live. I'm not speaking to, folks who have to take an extra step, for help. But again, like I always say, therapy is a great thing. And you don't have to be, quote unquote, have specific issues to go to therapy. Therapy sometimes just gives you clarification on things. Therapy sometimes just helps you center yourself. And I think a lot of people only go to therapy when something's wrong. People don't go to therapy just for regular maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Just like your car. Will your car run, if it doesn't have enough oil? Yeah, it's going to run, but it's going to start breaking down. So you have to keep, getting oil changes, and you have to make sure that your tires have proper air in them, and the engine needs to be, flushed and serviced every so often, to make sure that the entire car is running the way that it needs to, so we have to have regular maintenance with ourselves to make sure that our mind, body, and spirit are intact, so never let people project their fears onto you, because that is something that can hold you back from your potential. That's something that can hold you back from, your assignment and the things that you are supposed to do in this world. God gave us all special gifts, and our job is to use those gifts to capacity, while we are here on this earth. So I definitely know my assignment. I'm well aware of it now. I wasn't always, but I am definitely aware of it. And I'm going to do everything that I can to, use all of my gifts and my abilities. And if that means being in 3 different schools, like how I am right now, then that's what I'm going to do. I just feel like it's important. And I want to build myself, my family, my business, and I'm doing them all at the same time. I'm just doing a little bit of one now, a little bit of one a little bit later, a little bit of one a couple days from now. Like, I just keep working on each of them as things come. So self-preservation, family preservation, passing down, not only is it good to pass down generational wealth, but it's good to pass down generational, love, generational encouragement. We're always talking about generational wealth, and sometimes people talk about generational curses. Well, let's undo some of these generational negatives that we keep passing down. Pass down houses, pass down, paid off bills and mortgages, and, pass down diplomas, put down money for people to be able to go to school, instead of running to get the new iPhone, which is well over $1,000, $1,500, whatever. Pool the money together. I had said this a few podcasts episodes back, that if you're a household of 3 or 4 people and you all got a stimulus check, each of you have $1,400. You know what I'm saying? And I understand some people had lost their jobs and they need to hold on to the money. I get that, but you understand what I'm saying. For the people that were working from home and they still had their jobs, you got $1,400, and there's 3 or 4 people in the house that each got that. Some got more depending on, how many kids they had and stuff like that. I mean, that's a great down payment on something, a piece of property, a condo. It doesn't even have to be a whole house. It can be a condo that you can flip, a condo that you can put, an Airbnb and have it as, money that, literally a property that you can have income coming in on. This is the way that we need to think if we're thinking of generational wealth. We just can't pass down generational wealth from nothing. You have to have something to create something, we need to pass down those generational habits and not putting fear into our youth, fear into our children, fear into our future, making them think that, just getting the job that they really don't like and staying in that job for 35, 40 years is the way to go. If they're artistic, support the arts. If they want to be an actor, an actress, support it. They want to sing, support it. They want to play an instrument, support it. There's nothing wrong with going to school. I'm all for that. I went to school, I got some degrees, and it's all good. But I also had a passion for the arts, for things in media. And that's what I ultimately ended up doing, in my own business and for myself. And like I said, there's so many, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing things coming down the pike. I can't wait to be able to talk about it. Probably after, I think, Tuesday, I'll be able to talk about it, because I'll be having an official meeting on Tuesday about all of these things. So I am excited about where and not even so much where Onyx Queen Media is going, because wherever I am, Onyx Queen Media will be. But I am definitely learning every day to be more and more excited about where I am going, where Renee is going. And I'm definitely have to shake off a lot of fears that I grew up with, just from certain interactions, with people the closest to us, sometimes close friends, sometimes family, and even my own fears that I've conjured up in myself about things that I thought I couldn't accomplish or things that I thought I couldn't do. So definitely rise above your fears, rise above your fears. And oh man, I can't even tell you, once you learn what your assignment is and what your gifts are, it's an amazing thing. It's definitely an amazing thing. And I know a lot of people have been home over the past year and a half. Some folks, cities are on more lockdowns and other. We're having a bit of a surge here in the United States of COVID and things like that, but we are still pushing through. We're still pushing through. And don't let COVID make you fearful either. Because I have to say, for me personally, COVID had me shook for a while, where I just didn't even want to, interact with anybody. I was like, my hands were like turning white from all of the washing of hands and sanitizer and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still being very careful. I'm still, being very cautious and everything. But I definitely was very fearful. But I had to get out of that because I realized after I hadn't been in my car in maybe almost 2 months, I didn't drive my car because I didn't want to go anywhere. I had to get past that. I had to pray through it and really get over that, because it was and I'm not like an overly fearful person of many things, but because I am a self-proclaimed germaphobe, I definitely was not trying to be around a whole bunch of people, because I was like, y'all are not gonna blow this COVID over my life. So it made me really, I routinely wash my hands all the time anyway. And like, I'm not crazy with it. Anybody who knows me knows that like I'm a hugger and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not like, you can't touch me type stuff, but I am very particular about cleanliness and the way people keep their homes. And, like, I don't eat at everybody's house. I'm one of those people. So, and I don't apologize for it either. But anyway, so that really didn't help that COVID became part of the equation with all of that already happening. So, I can look back on it now and laugh, but, but I'm still very cautious. I got my Lysol finally. I think I bought like 4 cans of Lysol back in May and hadn't seen Lysol in over a year, which was like crazy. But as I said, be cautious, but don't bring that spirit of fear within you to the point where it cripples you into not fulfilling your dreams. Because I'm telling you, when you start accomplishing your dreams, even on the smallest of scales, it's like, it's the feeling of flying. It really is. It's the feeling of flying. So let's rise above our fears. We're moving into, the second half of 2021. We're in the second half now, and, we're almost halfway through July already. Before we know, it'll be the holidays and we'll be celebrating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all these other different holidays and things that are coming up. And it's just a thing to think about. Move past your fears. See what you can accomplish before 2021 is out. We lost literally a whole year and some months of time just sitting, but hopefully you were strategizing, I know I started to strategize. So now I'm kind of executing on those strategies. So get past your fear and live, Definitely get past your fear and live. As you know, I'm on social media at Onyx Queen Media on all socials, and you can email me info@onyxqueenmedia.com. Talk to you soon, you guys. Bye.